Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave. Na gurof paramam shishurasmi guror matirasti gurau mama pahi guro. Bravimi sanskritam vacha dhyayami sanskritam hृदा kurve sevancha kayena vande samskrita mataram yonaras samskrita vyomni hyalayam ramate muda sanskritin chaiva sanskaram vindate natra sanshayah. Very warm welcome to all of you. So let's quickly move ahead with exercise 16. We had a lot of vignas to the start. So we shall now move forward. Katha, there were 3 questions which we were not able to cover last time. So we will cover the questions on Katha now. And Mary G, I would request you to unmute yourself. Katham adhritya uttaram likhata. So you need to write answers to the questions based on
Namaste.
the Katha. Yeah, now this usually in the exam, this is a 1-mark answer. So we will just take the first question. Kakaha kimartham bhramati. So what will your answer be?
Kakaha jalartham bhramati.
Samyak. Kakaha jalartham bhramati. So will you take the next one also? Kakaha kim chintayati?
Jalam katham pibami iti kakaha chintayati.
Samyak. Jalam katham pibami iti kakaha chintayati. One can also write kakaha chintayati and then quote unquote jalam katham pibami iti. Okay. You can write it in any which case. Both would be grammatically correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Am I not audible? Because someone says I am not audible. Is that so?
You are. Yeah, very well.
I am. So then, Mahoda, you may probably have to just check your system at your end. There were a whole lot of glitches, and finally, I think I'm fairly audible. Thank you, Anna Mary Ji. I would request you to kindly mute yourself.
Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha. R. Lakshmi. Lakshmi Ji, hear me?
Namaste Ji. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Kakaha kan anayati?
Kakaha shilakhandan anayati.
Kakaha shilakhandan anayati. Samyak. Kindly keep yourself muted when we go to while we go to the next section. So the next section is explain with reference to context. The reason why we decided to include this section is some of the earlier papers of Samskrita Bharati, the Pravesha question papers, this question has come for 2 marks. It's not there in all the papers. Usually ERC, that is explained with reference to context, is asked from the Parichaya level onwards. But there have been some rare cases where this was asked at the Pravesha level itself. The answers are expected in English only. So you need not really worry about it. However, in the Abhyasa, we have also put the answer in Sanskritam only with the objective of helping you guys get comfortable with conversations as well as your writing abilities in Sanskritam. Okay? That is the only objective. So with that, we will move forward. Do not worry if you really haven't got the answer or the approach correct. There is really no right and wrong approach, but we've just tried to put it in such a way where, which is the answer is the closest to the expected. So, Vatsa Devaha Kutra Vasati? This is the question. Yeah. So let's just see. Yeah. Krishnan Mahoday, I've requested you to unmute. Lost him. Kishan Mahoday, are you there? Okay, I'm not able to see him. Urmila ji, I've requested you to unmute.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. So would you like to attempt this answer, please?
Yes. This comes in the Katha, Buddhimhan Sishyah.
Yes.
The disciple who came to Kashi to gain knowledge from the Pandit, who was asked by Pandit this question to test his intelligence before accepting him as Sishya.
So you need not write such a lengthy answer for the simple reason that practice keeping your answers brief. In Pravesha, there will be time, but Parichaya onwards, you won't have time to write lengthy answers. The papers are pretty long. So keep it to the point. So when you say ERC, even in school level when we learned, what is the title of the story? Who said, to whom, what context? So what context? Try to keep it in one line, that's enough. Because with a 2-mark answer, max, they'll give you quarter mark for each point. Story, quarter, who said, to whom, what context. So 2 marks are done with that. So try and keep it brief. That's my feedback to you. But your answer is to the point and absolutely right. So I've just, 1 second. I think I have the wrong file. Just give me a minute, please. Yeah, kindly give me a minute. Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. My apologies. Everything that needs to. Yeah. So you may kindly mute yourself, please. So
Okay, thank you.
So your answer was absolutely right. It's just that I just kind of tried to put it in a more crisper way. Yeah. So Katha, the title of the Katha, Buddhiman Shishya. So therefore it's put in quote unquote. Kaha vadati, who says? So Guruhu vadati. Okay. Kam vadati, to whom? Shishyam vadati. Okay. Kada vadati, when? So Shishya Buddhi Parikshartam Guruhu Prashnam Prichati Vatsa Devaha Kutra Vasati Iti. This is a Sanskrit version. This is not expected to be written in your Pravesha answer paper. Like I mentioned, we've just given it so that those of you who would want to practice writing in Sanskritam, you can actually have a go at it. Okay. The English version, title of the story, who asks, to whom, when, and in what context. So the teacher asks this question in order to test the student's intelligence. Okay. We move to the next one. So, Jalam Katham Pibami. Chaya ji, Chaya Vaidya,
Hariom.
Hariom. So I'll just lower your hand. Yeah. Yes. Would you like to attempt it, please, in English?
Yes. This is from the Katha. Kakaha, this Chaturaha Kakaha. The crow is thinking these words in order
Yeah.
to get the in order to understand how to get the water which is in the very little water which is there in the ghatta.
That's it. Absolutely. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to write. So the Sanskrit version, Dhanyavada Bhagini, kindly mute yourself. Katha Chaturaha Kakaha. Okay. Kaha Chintayati. So if you see, I changed it to Kaha Chintayati because if you look at your textbook, it is written Iti Kakaha Chintayati. So he's not saying it, he's thinking to himself. Therefore, Kaha Chintayati. Okay. Chintayati is straight away taken from your textbook itself. Kakaha Chintayati. Kada Chintayati. Again, this entire thing is from your textbook. Trushitaha Kakaha. So this word Trushitaha, meaning thirsty, is there in the textbook itself. Trushitaha Kakaha Ekam Ghatam Pashyati. Okay. And then Ghate Swalpameva Jalamasti Ataha. So the only new word that has been included is Ataha, which means therefore. You will be learning this word Ataha in Pravesha in a little bit. After a few classes, there will be a whole lot of these kind of words which you will be learning. Kada, Ataha, etc. These are called indeclinables. I'll not go there. So Ataha means therefore. Ataha jalam katham pibami iti kakaha chintayati. Again, the Sanskritam version is not expected. You only need to answer in English in your exam paper. Okay. Title of the story: Who thinks to himself, when and in what context? So the thirsty crow, after seeing very little water, wonders how he would drink the water. As Bhagini also mentioned, wordings can be any way. It doesn't matter, so long as the message is communicated and it is grammatically correct. That's all that matters. Yeah. So Atlani ji had asked a question. Do we have to learn all the stories by heart? You need to be familiar. You really don't have to memorize the story. Not required. You just need to be familiar. And honestly, by the time you reach the 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th chapter of Pravesha, you will definitely have enough practice to be able to write simple sentences. So don't really worry. And like I mentioned, the answers have to be written in English. So it's not going to be that much to, learn. So don't worry too much about the kathas. They're all very simple kathas. And these are all, most of them are stories that we probably would have learnt at some point of time in childhood. These are very simple stories. So you just need to know this thing. Won't Atati Atati and Brahmati are in simple context para. So para has a question in the third sentence of the katha. Won't Atati be better than Brahmati? Actually no, because I had mentioned even earlier, there's a very, very, very subtle difference between the word Atati and Brahmati. Very often it is used interchangeably. Brahmati is when you are going around without having a very fixed destination or objective in mind. So when, for example, you say Bhikshukaha Atati, the Bhikshukaha has a plan in mind that a Bhikshuka is a beggar. He has a plan in mind in the sense that he needs to collect so much amount of alms to fulfill that day's hunger or whatever. So he is going from house to house and he has a definite plan in the sense he knows the area and he's combing the area. So he definitely, though he is going from door to door, he does not know which household is going to give him his alms, but he has a plan in mind that I need to cover so many houses to be able to get so much alms. There you would use the word Atati. When you say Brahmanam, Brahmati is when you are just going without a certain aim in mind. So the crow does not know where he is going to get his water. He's searching. So he really does not have a plan. He's just gone and he's searching. So that's a very subtle difference. Very often you won't even see the difference. You will see people using Atati and Brahmati interchangeably, but yes, there is a slight, very small subtle difference between the two words, Atati and Brahmati. Yeah. Dhanyavadaha. We'll move forward. So the next one is Tvam Buddhiman Ataha Vidyabhyasartham Atraiva Vasa. Geeta ji, would you like to attempt it?
Hari Om Bhagini.
Hari Om. I have to lower your hand. Yeah. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. The title of the story is Buddhiman Sishya, and Guru tells Guru Sishyam Vadati, and here after testing the intelligence of the Sishya, the Guru, satisfied, tells the Sishya this sentence.
That's correct. Spot on. You got it. Dhanyavadaha Geeta ji. So I'll just give you the Sanskritam version also. Katha Buddhiman Shishyaha Kaha Vadati Guruhu Vadati Kam Vadati Shishyam Vadati. Yeah. Kada Vadati. So Kada is actually where we are trying to put the context. Shishya Vadati Guru Devaha Kutra Nasti Bhavanevam Samadhanam Vadattu. This is again straight quote unquote from the textbook. Santushtaha Guruhu Tvam Buddhiman Ataha Vidyabhyasartham Atraiva Vasa Iti Vadati. Like I mentioned, Sanskrit answers are not required. We've just put it so that you get a sense of how it needs to be answered. The English version, which is required, title of the story, who speaks, to whom, the student, okay, in what context, as Bhagini mentioned, after listening to the student's answer, when tested, satisfied teacher asks the student to stay back for further studies. Yeah? This can be worded in multiple ways. There is no one particular way of writing it. We are all adults. This is an adult course. So obviously, there can be multiple methods of writing it. Don't stress too much about it. Yeah, it's just that you need to get this 4 points in your answer. Title of the story, who speaks, to whom, and in what context. These 4 and your 2 marks are sorted. They're pretty lenient in terms of correcting the papers, don't worry. Next, we move on to the Subhashitam, which was covered in the last class. So I just combined the last 2 chapters and then put this ERC. Next time onwards, we will try to stick to the ERCs and the questions on the Katha from that particular lesson. Subhashitam Uchaihi Uktva Angla Bhashayam Artham Likhata. So you need to read the Subhashitam and write the meaning in English. So this is the Subhashitam. Sitaraman ji, Sitaraman Mohode, I'm requesting you to unmute.
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha. I'm also lowering your hand, please, if that's okay with you. Yes. Could you please read out the Subhashitam?
Udyamenaiva siddhanti karyani na manorathaihi nahi suptasya simhasya pravishanti mukhe mrigaha.
Samyak.
Only
Arthamapi vadatu?
Only by applying oneself to the work, things get done and not by thinking about them. The animals voluntarily do not enter the mouth of a sleeping lion.
Yes. So this is a very classic example. Yeah. Meaning effort is required for success. Mere daydreaming is not going to help. Yeah. So just wishing that one learns Sanskrit is not going to help. We all know how difficult the journey is. So effort is required to achieve and realize whatever we aim for. Simple. And then this is illustrated with an example. If a lion wants food, it has to go and hunt for it. If it just lies down with its mouth open, no animal is going to be voluntarily offering itself as food to the lion. So these are classic subhashitams, or there are lots of sayings, couplets like this, where there will be a general theory or dogma or maxim or idiom which is given, propounded, and then it will be substantiated with an example. So if after finishing Kovida or whatever, if you decide to go into Alankara Shastra, you will learn a whole lot of these kind of sayings, etc., where there is a thought, and then that thought or theory is supported with an illustration, and it could be both ways. Sometimes the illustration is given first, sometimes the illustration is given after the thought is given. Dhanyavadaha. Then we move to the next section on Darshana Shastras, very important. Yeah. So Angla Bhashayam Uttarani Likhata. Yeah. Answer the following in English. Darshanani Pradhanataya Katam Vibhaktani. So basically, how have the darshanas been divided? Answers are expected only in English. So do not worry, I have not given the Sanskrit answers here because the amount of the construction would be a little more complicated. So in lesson 2, I do not want to give the answers in Sanskrita Bhasha. It is only given in English. Atlani ji, would you like to take a go at it? I have requested you to unmute.
Pagini Hari Om.
Hari Om. I've
Yes.
also looked at it. Yes. Could you attempt the answer?
Yes. Darshanani Pradhanataya.
Pradhanataya Katham Vibhaktani. You need to answer it in English only.
Oh,
You need not- yes.
I answered it in Sanskrit very, very simply.
Lovely, lovely. Excellent. I love that.
I said, I answered Dve, Astikam cha, Nastikam cha, Staha.
Okay, so we need not write saha, and cha, which means and in Sanskritam, is usually written at the end.
Okay.
So yeah, so in Sanskritam, so in English, and is put between two nouns. So when you say a bat and a ball, and it would be between bat and ball. So if you say Rama and Krishna, so and is written between Rama and Krishna. In Sanskritam, and is written at the end. So it will be Ramaha, Krishnaha, cha. Ramaha, Lakshmanaha, Bharataha, Shatrugnaha, cha. Cha is written at the end.
Perfect.
So that's the subtle difference between the writing styles in English and Sanskritam. So if, like for example, Ganitaha, Vyakarana, Bhugolaha, cha.
Thank
So
you.
all the subjects and then cha is written at the end. So the answer is yes. Darshanas are divided into two: Astika Darshana and Nastika Darshana. Would you happen to know the difference in these three schools of thought?
Yes, the Astika, they follow the Veda, or they respect the Veda. No, it's not the respected. They
accept the Vedas
There you
as
go. They
the
accept the
final
Vedas.
authority
Yes.
in terms of everything. So whether
Yes.
it is dharma, whether it is the way you lead your life, the final authority of knowledge is the Vedas.
Yes.
That is how one would closely describe Astika Darshana.
And the Nastika is they don't follow the Vedas.
Yeah, so the Vedas are not considered to be the final authority.
Mhm.
It's not that they don't follow the Vedas.
Okay.
So if you look at the Vedas are giving you general statements about the Supreme Parabrahma, also about matters of the universe, and also about how we should lead our lives. Like for example, if they say Akshayhi Ma Divya, do not play with dice, do not gamble. Okay, it's not that the Nastika Darshanas, people who follow Nastika Darshana, do not believe in it. So the Vedas would say, speak the truth. It's not that the other dharmas or the other darshanas do not, they say, okay, no, because we do not follow the Vedas, we are going to speak lies. No, the theory is the same, The principles are the same. It's just that they would not rely on Vedas as being the final authority because they would have their own theories. That's the only difference. Yeah. Whereas, whereas people who follow Astika Darshana, for them, the Vedas are the final authority. So whenever you are, say, in doubt, or whenever you have a conflict between two theories or two ideas or two methods of following life, you would go back to the Vedas and say, okay, what do the Vedas tell me? And that is the final decision to be taken.
Thank you.
So that's all it is. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you very much. Next question. Astika darshanani kati tani kani. Krishnan Mahoday, I've requested you to unmute. Krishnan Yoga.
Namaste.
I'm not able to hear you. Yeah.
Are you able to hear me now? Namaste.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yes.
Astika darshanani shat santi. Tani
Tani.
Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa.
Samyak. So Astika Darshana systems are 6: Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. So these are the 6 systems. A lot of times this also comes in match the following or fill in the blanks, etc. You can be prepared for any which ways that they will ask you this particular question. Dhanyavadaha Mohoday, kindly mute yourself. Dhanyavadaha. Nastika darshanani kani Lakshmi R.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Nastika darshanani charvakah jainah bauddhah cha.
Samyak. So Nastika Darshana systems are mainly 3: Charavaka, Jaina and Bauddha. So Charavaka, I don't know, I'm not sure if this was covered in the explanation by ma'am. Charu means delightful. Vak is speech. So the systems are very pleasing to the ear. So it's very convenient, and that's why it's called Charavaka. Just a little tidbit, that's all. I'm sure Brindaji would have covered it. I really didn't see the videos. Dhanyavadaham, Bhagini, kindly mute yourself. Kati vidani Bauddha darshanani santi tanikani. Geeta ji, I've requested you to unmute.
Namaste Bhagini. Punaha. Bauddha darshanani Sautratikaha, Vaibhashikaha, Madhyamikaha, Yogacharaha cha.
Yeah, that's it. Just the 4. So Bauddha Darshana has 4 schools: Sautantrika, Madhyamika, Vaibhashika, which is also called as Shunyavada, and Yogachara, which is also called as Vijnanavada. These are the 4 schools of this thing that Bauddha Darshana has. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. We now move forward. Kim or va ete prayujya Samskrita bhashayam prashnam likhata. So you need to write the question using kim or va. We've given the question in English and asked you to translate. Sometimes in your exam, if they decide to ask, which is very rare, they may give you the sentence, the answer, and ask you to structure the question. It really doesn't matter. Okay. We've just given you the question itself in English and asked you to translate it. Is the program good? So there was a slight difference in the way the questions were written in the first draft of the Abhyasa, which was loaded onto the website. Okay. So I'd written it in present continuous tense. It struck us later on. In fact, Brindaji just brought it to my notice that present continuous tense, the participle that we use is very different. So I have just put it in simple present tense. It doesn't really matter at this point of time, but what we needed is for you to have a clarity between simple present tense and present continuous tense, which you will learn at a later point of time. That's the small correction that is there. In the English section, it doesn't matter, your answers will still be the same. Is the program good? Padma ji, Padma Bhagini?
Ram Bhagini.
Ram.
कार्यक्रमः सम्यक् अस्ति वा or कार्यक्रमः सम्यक् अस्ति किम्?
Samyak. Samichinam. This is a good, yeah. So you could have also used Samichinam instead of Samyak. It would still be fine. Yeah. Samyak is an Abhyaya. Samichinam will change. That's the only difference. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha. Would you like to attempt the next one? So I think I had given it as Are the Boys Playing or something, but technically Are the Boys Playing would be written in a different manner in Sanskrit. Do the boys play is more accurate. Yeah. Could you attempt the second one also, Padmaji? I think there seems to be a problem. Okay. Priya Bhagini?
Ram.
Ram. I'm just lowering your hand. Yeah.
Balakaha kridayanti va?
Kridayanti meaning will change.
Okay.
To make someone place kridanti is sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah. So balakaha kridanti va question mark or balakaha kridanti kim question mark is also correct. So kim and va, the sense that is used is the same. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Yeah. Padmavati ji.
Balakaha padati va?
Yeah. Balakaha pathati kim or balakaha pathati va. So kim is also there. So try to put both so that you have a sense of how it needs to be answered. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a question by Sujata Rani. Can cha come in between nouns sometimes or usually no, Bhagini? Cha is written only once and at the end. So there are rules of cha which you will learn in Pravesha itself in some of the later lessons where they will explain that cha is written at the end. So when you have say 10 things, so and instead of writing that, cha is written only at the end. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Geeta ji.
Is the question given? Does the youngest laugh? Anuja hasati va? Anuja
hasati va, Anuja hasati kim. Both are there, so I just give both the options. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Yeah. Padmavati ji. Padmavati ji, I'm asking you to unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
Does the paternal grandfather eat? Pitamaha khadadi kim or khadadi va?
Samyak. Pitamaha khadati kim or khadati va. Dhanyavadaha. Please mute yourself. Next question. Padma ji. Padma Yagiri.
Ram Bhagini.
Ram. Yeah.
Is the weaver weaving? Tantuvayaha vayati kim? Tantuvayaha vayati va?
Yeah. So Tantuvayaha vayati kim or vayati va. And technically it should be does the weaver weave is a more accurate translation rather than is the weaver weaving, because when you say is weaving, it's a present continuous tense. And there is a separate participle for that. So that thought slipped my mind when I was drafting it. So that's when, like I mentioned, Vrindaji brought it to my notice that does the weaver weave is a more accurate translation of Tantuvayaha Vayati Kim or Vayativa. Dhanyavadaha. So I will correct the Abhyasa and upload it so that people who view the Abhyasa later on, they don't have this confusion. Dhanyavadaha Padmaji. Kindly keep yourself muted.
Dhanyavadaha.
Urmila ji. Urmila ji, I'm
Ram,
requesting you
Ram,
to,
yeah, Ram.
Ram.
Does the lotus bloom? Kamalam vikasati va?
Kamalam vikasati va, kamalam vikasati.
Vikasati kim?
Both are fine. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Dr. Vijayalakshmi ji.
Ram Bhagini.
Ram. Yes. Would you like to attempt the next one, please?
Yeah. Do you go? Bhavati gachati kim gachati va?
Bhavati is fine. What would, because I've written, another, this thing is using tvam. So if you were to write tvam, how would you use it?
Tvam gachasi kim, tvam gachasi va.
Tvam gachasi kim, tvam gachasi va. Bhavati is not wrong. Okay. But then what happens is, because Bhavan and Bhavati have a specific gender, by default, when you are asking a standard question without really knowing who is there at the other end, then you would take the pullinga form as the standard form and write Bhavan. So, but Tvam, on the other hand, it doesn't matter what the gender is, Tvam will remain the same. Aham and Tvam are trilingaka shabdas. So, you can use it irrespectively for anyone. So, my suggestion is, when you see you as a general standard, as a general this thing in English, preferably go for Tvam. And then use the Madhyama Purusha Kriya Padam. You're playing it safe then. Yeah. Dhanyavadaha. Do I sing well? Okay. Let me see who's there. I don't see hands raised. Lakshmi ji?
Namaste, Bhagini.
Yeah.
Aham samyak gayami kim? Aham samyak gayami va.
Samyak samichinam vadati. Dhanyavadaha. So that completes this section. Kindly mute yourself, please. We move now to the other section where you've been given different Kriya Padam forms, and based on whether it is Bhavam or Tvam, okay, the Bhavat Shabda or the Yushmat Shabda, you need to choose the Kriya Padam accordingly, the Lakara, the Tinganta form accordingly. So, Koshtakat Uchitam Rupam Chittva Rikta Sthanam Pureta. So, you need to fill in the blanks with the appropriate forms. So, the first one was Bhavan, and then Hasati and Hasasi was given. So, which will you take? Priyaji?
Hasati.
Hasati. So, Bhavan Hasati is your right answer. Yeah. Kindly mute yourself. Now, a lot of people now. Yeah. So, the next one. 1 second. Yugal Goenka, Yugal Mahoday.
Ram.
Ram.
Yoyam pathatha.
Yuyam pathatha. Samyak. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly mute yourself, please. Sandeep Mahoday, your question is, which Purusha has to be used with Bhavati and Bhavan? Bhavan and Bhavati technically has to be Prathama Purusha only. So Yushmad and Asmad is Madhyama, and then Yushmad is Madhyama and Asmad is Uttama Purusha, and everything else comes in Prathama Purusha. But yes, it is said as Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Bhavati there, when you say Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavati being Sambodhana, it will be in Hrasva Ikara, not Dirgha Ikara. And there are some exceptions where, while using it, you will find that the Madhyama Purusha Tinganta Shabda has been used. There are some cases, but as a general rule, it has to be the Dhatu. Okay. So there may be some exceptions where you will see Madhyama Purusha usage, but as a general this thing, it would be yeah.
Wait.
Kindly mute yourself, everyone else.
That was bad.
Please keep yourself muted. Somebody's mic is on. Yeah, so that's how it goes. We move forward. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, bhavati. Okay, vadasi or vadati. Which one will go there? Yeah, para.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So what will you use? Will you use vadasi or vadati for bhavati?
Vadati.
Vadati. Bhavati vadati. So bhavati vadati. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Sita Ramanji.
Tvam chalachitram pashyasi.
Tvam chalachitram pashyasi. Samyak. Samyak. Kindly keep yourself muted. Srilata Bhagini. Srilata ji, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. You've raised your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Bhavantau gachatah. Gachatah, the second one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not second. The first one is gachatah, gachatah, and the second one is gachatah. So gachatah. So the ta is alpa prana. Now you can actually appreciate the subtle difference that comes because of the pronunciation of alpa prana and mahaprana. It can completely change the meaning of your sentence. Yeah. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly keep yourself muted. Ganesh Mahoday, Ganesh Nayak. I've requested you to Ram Ram Ram.
Bhavan, sorry, Bhavatah Vadanti.
Bhavantaha.
Bhavantaha.
So it's in plural. Yeah. So Vadanti, you're right.
Vadanti.
Bhavantaha Vadanti, because it's in Bahuvachanam. Dhanyavadaha. Kindly mute yourself, please. Krishnan Mahoday, I have asked you to unmute. Yes, I still can't hear you, Mahoday.
Ram Ram, are you able to hear me now?
Ram Ram Ram. Finally, yes.
Okay. Bhavan Devalayam Gacchati.
Bhavan Devalayam Gacchati. Samyak. Kindly keep yourself muted now. Lalita Muttaswamy.
Namaste ji.
Namaste.
Yuva Slogam Smarantah.
Yuvam. Which one? Which one are you saying?
Smarantah.
Alpa prana or mahaprana?
Alpa prana.
No. When does alpa prana come and when does mahaprana is coming?
Yuvam is
Madhyama Purusha.
Madhyam Purusha.
Madhyama Purusha Dvivachanam.
Dvivachanam.
So it will be mahaprana. Smarantaha. Yeah. Smarantaha and not smarataha. Sorry, smarathaha and not smarataha. Yuvam shlokam smarataha and not smarataha. Yeah. Samyak. Dhanyavadaha. I think, yeah, that completes it. There was some question, I remember, there was a mail that had come. I'm just lowering everybody's hands right now. I think I can't do that. Yeah, lower all hands. Somebody had written a mail about a particular pronunciation. Yes, let me just see who's written. Yes, Madhuji, I will just address that also. Just give me a minute. There was one question on, yes, Hema ji, right, Hema ji. You had written a mail to me. I've asked you to unmute yourself.
Namaskaram, Mahodaya.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
there was there was a question from you. Let me just, 1 second. Yes. Let me just insert a slide and then type it out, and yes. So there was a question from Hema Ji in terms of pronunciation. Yeah, could you just say it aloud for everyone's benefit?
It is the pronunciation of, it is basically the Sayutaksharani of, let's say, the, v and ya, if they come together. And another one is the v separately and the ya separately.
Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. So I'll just come there, 1 second.
For example,
yeah, 1 second.
82.
I'll just type it. I'll just type it and I will address it. 1 second. Yeah. So the question that she had, okay, was, just a minute. So there are two words, okay. What is correct or not correct is not the point. We'll just look at two words right now.
Dvya and Dvaya.
Yeah, 1 second. Dvaya and so there are two words that Hema ji spoke about. Okay. Yes, kindly mute yourself, Hema ji, and I will just address these 2 points. And then we will go on to the WhatsApp issue also. 1 second. Thomas Mahoday, in case you are there in class, I would request you to kindly put the WhatsApp link in the chat. I think some people were having some difficulties in joining the WhatsApp group. Okay, so here the first one is Dvaya, and the second place it is Dvya, the pronunciation. Okay, why is it Dvaya? Because it has the plus the Dakara, Vakara, followed by Akara, followed by again a Yakara, which is a Vyanjana, followed by Akara. Okay, so there is an Akara in the middle. Because of this, okay, this becomes one Akshara and this becomes one Akshara. So Dva followed by Ya. So there are 2 Aksharas per okay plus Ya separately. In the second case, you are having Akara, Vakara and Yakara. Then you're having the Akara. So this whole thing is one Akshara, one letter. So this is completely Dvaya. That's the difference. Dvya. So the va and ya, you need to pronounce it together as Dvya. Dvya. Here it is Dvaya. Is it clear, Hema ji? The first case, it is Dvaya. Second case, the pronunciation is Dvya. Dvya. So I'm not stopping after the Vakara. I'm saying Dvya, where the Va, Ya, I'm pronouncing together. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that was the point that she had raised. Yes. So the chat group has been posted by Thomas Mahoday again in the chat box. If in case you are not able to see the chat box, meeting chat box, let me just see where else I can post it. I will put it here in this place. So those of you who are still struggling to join the WhatsApp group, I'm not able to copy and paste it. 1 second. Chaya Bhagini, I have to check this because we are also not very familiar with the Bauddha Darshanas. So at this point of time, my request would be that you follow the textbook, yeah, and we will check on what is the most accurate one and put it. So even I am not too sure as to which is called what. If your textbook is saying it in a different way, then I'm presuming they would have done their homework. So if it's put in a different way, because we were also trying to see if we can get an authority on Bauddha Darshana to reconfirm what is what. Because even we didn't know. I'm not able to copy paste the link. Let's see. We will try and let me speak to the Vyoma team and figure out if there is a way where we can incorporate it in the course page. Yeah. Any other questions, please ask. I'm not even able to view the chat. I don't see anything in the chat box. Please post his number. There is time, Para. Don't rush about vibhaktis. There's a lot to be done. We are going to follow the textbook of the Pravesha syllabus. What is the meaning of both? There are a syllable per se will not have a meaning. So if you're asking the meaning of dvya and dvaya, these are just consonants. We will not, by themselves, they have no meaning, Ram Mahoday. So yeah, Thomas G's number, just give me a minute. Let me just see where is Thomas G's number. 1 second. Samskrita Bharati Pravesha. Let me just see where is Thomas G. Yes. Thomas G, would it be okay if I just put your number over here? Would that be okay if I put it? So if I write something in the chat box, I'm presuming that everybody will be able to see it. Everyone in the meeting. Let me just try and put the... yes, Chaya ji has asked a question regarding Kim and Va. Is it different from the Sarvanama Shabda? Yeah, Kim. Yeah, this Kim is used as an interrogative. Very subtle difference, but it's a little too early for me to get into that. This Kim is like an Abhyasa. Yeah. Yes, Thomas Mahoday has given his message, his number. 1 second. Let me see. Thomas Mahoday, my request is if you are able to choose everyone in the meeting, then you may be able to put it. Yeah. Anita ji, pronunciation of Prahlada and Brahma. Prahlada, Brahma. A detailed session on pronunciations has been done in the earlier videos. I'd request you to kindly take a look at it. Yeah, one second to change this English. Yeah. You will have to look at that video. The United States. Yeah, so I have given that. Priya Bhagini, don't worry about the Natvam rule as of now. The Natvam rule is covered only at Kovida in Samskrita Bharati course. So it is difficult, it is a little complicated. So please wait, don't worry too much about it. All you need to do is sometimes when there is a repa or a shakara or a rukara, the na can change to na. However, if the na is at the end of the padam, then it will remain unchanged. That's all you need to know about Natvam at the Pravesha level. Why Ramena and why Raman? So Raman, the nakara is at the end of Raman Shabda, Raman Padam. Because of that, it doesn't change. Whereas when you see Ramanam or Ramena, the na has changed to na. That's all you need to remember. Jyotsna ji, what is your question regarding Purusha and Kriya Padam? You can mail it to me. We are kind of coming to the end of the class. Can you raise your hand, Para and all that? Para Bhagini, do you have a question? Padma ji, please lower your hand. Jyotsna ji, could you raise your hand? Then I will be able to unmute you. Otherwise, searching will be a problem. Jyotsna ji, could you raise your hand, please? Then I'll try and unmute you. And you can ask your question. Yeah. Jyotsna, Jyotsna Shastri, and there's another Jyotsna ji. Who is it? Who has a doubt? Okay, let me just see if I can unmute you. 1 second.
Ma'am, finally,
Tell me. Ask. Yeah, please ask.
Ma'am, so it's a slightly silly doubt, but probably it's just phraseology. But I just wanted to confirm it with you because you clarified a couple of my doubts earlier also, and after that it's become very clear.
Yeah.
This is with regard to Purusha and Kriya Padam. Actually, in the last but one video, Brinda ma'am mentioned somewhere that Purusha has only to do with the Kriya Padam, and it has nothing to do with Nama Padam.
Correct.
I had kind of explained to myself that it's a Nama Padam or the Sarvanama, which is either first person, second person, or third person. So, which is actually in Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha, or Uttama Purusha, and it is based on the Purusha of the Nama Padam and the Vachanam of the Nama Padam and the Lakara based on which the Kriya Padam
No. That's not how you need to understand. That's not how you need to understand. Okay. The Nama Padam, see, you have all the Nama Padams and then you have Asmad and Yushmad. Correct?
Yes.
All Nama Padams are in Prathama Purusha. Yushmad Shabda is in Madhyama and Asmad Shabda is Uttama. Correct?
Yes.
What it means is that when the Kartripadam, so when you're constructing a sentence, Aham Gacchami, the subject is Aham. Okay? When the subject is Aham, the Kriya Padam takes the Uttama Purusha form. When the subject is Tvam, the Kriya Padam takes Madhyama Purusha form. For everything else, the Kriya Padam is Prathama Purusha form. That would be the most accurate and closest way to describe it, explain it.
So, one should rephrase as it takes the it takes the Purusha of the subject, not of the noun in the
It
sentence.
does
but
not
of
take
the
the
subject.
Purusha of the subject. No, no, no. That's not how you need to understand it. That's not how you need to. So when you are putting a concept in your mind,
Yes,
and when you are
ma'am.
trying to reinforce the concept in your mind, let me complete, Jyotsnaji. When you are reinforcing a concept in your mind, you need to reinforce the information in the right manner. And the right, mute yourself, Jyotsnaji, because it is the Kriya Padam which is having Prathama Purusha form, Madhyama Purusha form, and Uttama Purusha form. Okay, so Pathati is Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam, Pathasi is Madhyama Purusha Ekavachanam, Pathami is Uttama Purusha Ekavachanam. Now, when the subject is Balakaha, the Patha Dhatu, the Patha is becoming Pathati. The Pat is taking Prathama Purusha form of Pathati. When the subject is Aham, the Patha is becoming Pathami. It is taking its Uttama Purusha form Pathami. When the subject is Tvam, the Kriya Padam is taking Pathasi form. So the Kriya Padam has the Purusha. Kindly do not accord the Purusha to the Nama Padam. The reason why I am saying it is because Nama Padams have Vibhaktis. Prathama Vibhakti. What will happen is you will get confused between Prathama Purusha and Prathama Vibhakti. That will happen. So when you say Prathama in terms of a Nama Padam, it is referring to Prathama Vibhakti. When you use the word Purusha, you are referring to the Kriya Padam. So when you say Dhavati, Dhavati is Prathama Purusha. Balakaha is Prathama Vibhakti. That's different. When you learn Vibhaktis, you learn the difference. Do not accord the Purusha to the Nama Padam. The Purusha is always accorded to the Kriya Padam. So Dhavati is Prathama Purusha, Dhavasi is Madhyama Purusha. Madhyama Purusha Dhavasi comes when the Karta is Tvam, when the Nama Padam is Tvam. Okay. Uttama Purusha Dhavami will come in the sentence when the doer is Aham. That is how you need to remember this concept, and do not say that the Purusha is this thing. Yushmad will take the this thing. Okay, so that's the difference. Number looks to be incorrect. I don't understand the question. Could you kindly elaborate? Yes, Vatsala ji, you have some doubts, you said. Could you raise your hand, Vatsala Bhagini? Let me quickly take your doubts. Vatsala Bhagini, could you please raise your hand? I mean, we just have a few more minutes. Vatsala ji, are you there? Could you raise your hand, Vatsala ji? WhatsApp number wrong. 1 second. I really don't know. Let's just take up this WhatsApp issue at. Yeah, Vatsala ji, you said you have a doubt. I'm trying to reach out to you. Yeah, I've requested you to unmute. If you have a doubt, kindly unmute yourself and ask, please.
Yeah. I have two doubts. First and foremost, today's class I joined very late because of some technical difficulties.
There were technical issues. We all had to start a little late today because there was one link, and then that link I got thrown out of the link, and then there was another link. So we all had a little bit of problem in the beginning.
Okay. And the second difficulty is when class is taking place and if you are unable to see it, can we see the video on the YouTube immediately, or we have to wait for it to be uploaded?
It takes some time. It takes some time because sometimes there are edits to be done. So the technical team will upload it in a little bit. It's in a little while. So there is a delay. I mean, because there are people who are working on multiple things. So there will be a delay. You will have to kindly bear with us.
Okay.
So
and the third question is,
yeah.
sorry, I'm having too many questions.
Yeah,
the third question is, the book that we are following now on Pravesha and with the question and answers and Abhyasa that we are doing, I'm able to follow to some extent. But suddenly I find some new words coming up. How do you understand from where it is being taken and where
Which is the new word that has come? Could you give me an example?
Yeah, that is about the Vyavakarika Sabdaka. In that Vyavakarika Sabdaka.
Okay.
So there we had that word adding that ikaranta for the feminine forms, Chitrakari and Bharavahi.
Yeah.
And for the others also, how do we just add the feminine form by adding the ka or ikara?
You see, there is at this point of time, the rules that are followed to convert it into an akara or ikara are definitely out of scope of the Pravesha syllabus, for sure. If you look at so the best way to learn for anybody who is a beginner in learning the language is, as and when you come across a new word, you understand it and assimilate it into your memory and try to recollect it. There is really no easier way of doing it. The same goes for any language. If you were to learn Japanese or say German or Mandarin, it's the same approach. You learn it one word at a time. Shanashaha kanashascha vidyamartham cha sadayed. Right? So that's point number one. Point number two, I would request everyone else to please mute yourselves. If you look at your textbook, page 35, okay, they have written here for the first 10 words, the feminine forms of the above will be ikaranta. Then they have given you the next 13 words and said, we have to add ika to get the feminine forms of the above. So they have mentioned it very clearly. You can follow your textbook. Any other Strilinga padam that comes in your learning, you have to take it one word at a time. That's how we have learned it. I wish that it was easier, but it's a long journey.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Any other doubts? There is just two more things. Madhu Oberoi, I haven't understood this. Tell me the forms gender and purusha. I think you need to look at the earlier videos, Madhuji, because I'm not able to understand your question. Could you raise your hand, please, Madhu Mahoday? Vatsalaji, kindly keep yourself muted.
One last question I just wanted. Sorry, I didn't add that. Because the course said it's ending in April. So are we going to close it, or how long are we going to continue?
Course is ending in April. Who mentioned that?
In the very beginning, it said November to April 30th.
I don't recollect that. I don't recollect that. We have not even started the lesson, so definitely not.
Okay.
As far as my memory goes, we are covering the Pravesha without any particular time frame in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Kindly keep yourself muted. It doesn't matter, Vatsalaji. Kindly keep yourself muted. Let me just find out what is Madhu's Mahoday's doubt.
I just wanted to know Bhavan, Bhavanto, Bhavantaha. And the different form, Bhavati, Bhavatyo, Bhavatyaha, is that correct?
Correct. It is following Nadi Shabda, right? E Karanta. So it's like Nadi.
All right. Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. It's like Nadi Shabda. So you will learn it later on. We have not even started Vibhaktis. So what will happen is the others will then start getting confused. There are a lot of doubts today. Padmavati ji, you have a doubt, is it?
Yeah.
Have you raised your hand?
Yeah. I am from Kerala. I am appearing for the Pravesha exam in June.
Okay.
My exam will be in June. So I think that whether portions will be covered before that.
We will not be covering. Certainly not, Padmavati ji. Let me not raise your, expectations. The space at which we are going, I don't think it will be possible to complete the portion in June. That will not happen.
Any other earlier course has been done for Pravesha by Vyoma?
Sorry?
Any,
Vyoma, this is the first time that Vyoma is doing the course on Pravesha. Yeah, but what you can do, Padmavati ji, what you can do is, if you look at the syllabus of Pravesha, so there is one chunk on vibhaktis.
Yeah.
Correct? And then there is one chunk on lakaras.
Yeah.
Individually, these concepts, see things like katha, things like vyavaharika shabdaha, things like vamaya parichayaha, you can comfortably read the textbook and go for your exam. It is not a problem. The problem will be in grammar concepts like vibhaktis and lakaras. Vyoma has done numerous courses. There is a course called High School English Grammar, which Venkat Mahoday has done.
I have seen some of it.
Extremely good, because I've gone through the videos. It is extremely good. How he has covered vibhaktis is beautiful. You can use that as a reference. Rules are the same. Lakaras also, there are some videos for the earlier, this thing for school students, which has been done. You can go through those and probably get your concepts cleared. And if I'm not mistaken, there is also a course going on sentence construction by Vyoma. So I think two modules are completed, if I'm not mistaken. You can, again, I think that's a free course if I'm not mistaken. Try and enroll for that, and you will get some sense on how sentences are constructed.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
But Pravesha, this course, humanly impossible. Yeah. Yeah, Sandeep Mohoday, you asked how can we join the WhatsApp group. Thomas Mohoday, instead of sending a direct message, if you could put select group and put the message, that will help. You can put the WhatsApp link in the group. Otherwise, the last Abhyasa class, I had put the WhatsApp link. You can try joining from there or send us a mail. That's easier. Those of you who want to join the WhatsApp group, just send me a mail. My mail ID is there, Sudha Srikant at Vyoma, sudhasrikant.vyoma@gmail.com. Do send me a mail and I'll respond to you individually with the link to the WhatsApp group. I think that's the easiest thing to do at this point of time. Yeah, with this we will close class because we've really overshot time now. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. धन्यवादः. श्वः कक्षा अस्ति, तत्र मिलामः.